Tonight, why Eastern Washington University students were in full protest on campus yesterday. The latest updates on the event that lead to multiple arrests.
Plus, Pullman Regional Hospital expansion hopes are hanging by a thread. Find out just how close the vote is. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Gunnar Peterson.
And I'm Malou Santos. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The Pullman Regional Hospital expansion bond continues to hang in limbo. The Whitman County Auditor's Office counted 1,400 votes last night, and the hospital is still short of the supermajority needed to pass the bond by 27 votes. There are still about 1,000 votes to be counted, and the Auditor's Office will run more of those ballots tonight. The bond would allow the hospital to build a separate clinic space as well as access an electronic record system. Murrow News 8 will continue to follow the vote and bring you updates as they come in. And the Port of Whitman County Commissioners approved the appraisal of property in North Pullman to build student housing. The land is valued at about $50,000 an acre and is going to be a resort-style housing project. The project was approved Thursday by the port.
If you're a WSU student struggling to write a paper that's due soon, you can get free help on campus. Murrow News 8's Sean O'Connor has more on this service.
The WSU Writing Center, located in the Smith Center for Undergraduate Education, is a resource for all undergraduate students at Washington State. The Writing Center is a free service where students can get feedback on their writing or map out a plan for an assignment. The center is staffed by student consultants who help people with various aspects of their paper.
Whenever I come in, usually I'm just running down, asking questions, basically just answering top order questions like any concerns that they might have seen or run into while they're writing their papers.
Although students can come in at any point in the writing process, Writing Center Director Brooklyn Walter recommends coming in as soon as the student receives an assignment.
Coming the moment that you get a writing assignment can be so valuable because you work with somebody to sort of plan how you're going to go about meeting all of the expectations of this assignment.
With the semester quickly wrapping up, the Writing Center is gearing up for an influx of writers looking for feedback.
We go from having 3 or 4 people on each hour to having 7 or 8 people on each hour, and we still have a line. So I would tell people if they want to come in for any sort of final project or final assignment, come the week before Dead Week.
Need help with a paper but can't get into the Writing Center? You can still get help from a tutor.
Just sign into the WSU Writing Lab, fill out a few boxes, and submit your paper to an e-tutor. The Writing Center director and student consultants want to keep the center a stress-free environment for writers to improve their papers.
The Writing Center is a place where you can come in and it's free of judgment, free of, exterior, biases that might hinder you from feeling comfortable.
Sean O'Connor, Murrow News 8.
Washington State University's Orchestra Festival is going on all day today. Originally, 13 groups from high schools all over Eastern Washington were going to come and play, but due to unforeseen reasons, some could not make it. Special guest Mitsuru Kubo will be playing viola with the students that made it, and special guest Dr. Matthew Aubin will be conducting. They will also be judging students on their technical proficiency and musicianship.
Many elementary students rely on free school lunches, and for some students, it is the only food that they'll get that day. A new federal policy could affect some children who receive the complimentary meals. John Lee has more on this topic.
Recently, the Trump administration proposed a new policy that would possibly cause millions of low-income children to lose their free lunch or reduced-price school meal plans. Currently, the low-income children automatically qualify for free lunches if their families receive food stamps called Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
And so this change would mean that they don't automatically qualify for SNAP or for free and reduced meals. They would need to apply for them separately.
According to the USA Today, nearly 1 million children could lose automatic free school lunch by the new policy. About half kids would be eligible for reduced price lunch. About 450,000 children would have to reapply for free lunches, and 40,000 children will not be eligible for either SNAP program and would pay full lunch price. If we take a look at the public schools in Pullman, Washington, according to Pullman School District, 32% of total 2,800 students qualify for free or reduced meals under current plan. If this proposal approves, about 500 students will need to fill the paperwork. According to Pullman School District, 45% of students will be eligible for free lunch, 51% of the students will be eligible for reduced meals, but only 4% of students will not be eligible either free lunch or reduced meals. At the same time, many people are concerned about serious potential consequences for children that rely on these free meals.
Well, I think we'd find less kids accessing meals at school, which could mean some kids going hungry, which would impact their learning, so I'm concerned about that.
John Lee, Murrow News 8.
In this digital age, we're more dependent on technology than ever. A WSU assistant professor is exploring ways fine arts can interface with other disciplines and media. Murrow News 8 reporter Yolanda Lee has more.
WSU Assistant Professor of Painting and Intermediate Joe Hedges says he hopes his paintings make people to think about the role of smartphone and technologies in their daily lives.
So in my work right now, I'm trying to kind of mash up oil painting, conventional or traditional oil painting, with the new media objects that surround our daily lives today. So my primary goal with that show is just to get people to stop and maybe slow down a little bit and think about, the amount of time we're spending with our phones and how we use our phones and how they may impact our personal relationships in different ways.
Joe presented his works Hyper Combines in here, Gallery 2. These artworks with other his new works will present in his upcoming exhibition.
And that art is a serious enterprise for investigating difficult situations and complex issues such as you're stating, the internet and globalization through all kinds of means of how we live in that little box now of our cell phones.
Joe's artworks not only show to the own community, but also beyond the community.
Will be seen by people via the internet, but it also it helps put Joe in a position of national awareness that then potentially gets him more exhibitions and shows students through professional development of what they could do and that they could have a similar voice of reaching lots of people.
University of Idaho President C. Scott Green addressed an audience of around 700 during a budget forum last night. The forum comes in the wake of the announcement of a budget deficit that is expected to reach $22 million by 2022. Some of the options discussed to reduce the deficit included outsourcing different departments and ramping up marketing to increase university revenue. President Green said he can't guarantee that programs will not be cut.
A congregation of veterans and speakers addressed the ex-members of our nation's military. Members spoke about the established military in the U.S., the status and perception of the military by the people, and what it means to be a veteran. The ceremony was held outside of Bryant Hall today and will commemorate the soldiers that served in the United States military.
According to the Spokesman Review, the Trump administration's conscious rule was blocked by Spokane judge Thursday. The Spokesman Review says the conscious rule allows healthcare workers to refuse providing medical services for moral or religious reasons. U.S. District Judge Stanley Bastian said in a statement that the rule would have hurt transgender patients, patients seeking end-of-life care, and people in need of reproductive health.
A counter-protest spoke out at Eastern Washington University yesterday in response to anti-abortion reform. A large body of students surrounded the protesters, and one student even claimed to have been sexually assaulted by one of the activists wearing an anti-abortion shirt. The man was subsequently arrested along with a student who physically retaliated against other protesters. EWU President Mary Cullinan spoke out Thursday evening about the issue in response to some students asking why people can demonstrate on their campus like that willingly. Cullinan stated that as long as they have pre-approval to use the outdoor space, their protest is legal and valid.
And coming up, the USDA has issued a massive ground beef recall.
Find out if your beef in your fridge is safe to eat. Coming up next on Murrow News 8.
Days, months.
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
Years.
I'd like to give you this.
A lifetime. Can rush by without realizing what we're missing. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Alex Fisher is just 9 years old with a heart of gold. She has raised enough to buy 108 Thanksgiving meals for Charlotte Rescue Mission in North Carolina. The nonprofit provides 2 months of free meals for individuals who are addicted to substances and are predominantly homeless. Alex and her parents raised money to buy the food from lemonade stands and bake sales.
There is a recall on over 130,000 pounds of raw ground beef. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service says the products may contain plastic. Take a look at your screen. The meat recall is on Nature's Rancher's 100% grass-fed organic ground beef. And what is being affected are 16-ounce vacuum-sealed packages. The packages have a use or freeze-by dates of the following several dates on your screen. And the USDA says consumers who have purchased the beef should not consume it, and anyone concerned about illness should contact a healthcare provider.
An individual has died after a chemical reaction at a Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant in Massachusetts. A male employee claimed he was suffering from extreme nausea after being exposed to a strong chemical cleaning agent. He was rushed to the hospital where he later passed away. Authorities believe a different employee was preparing the cleaning agent to mop the kitchen floor when he smelled the fumes and immediately fled the building. The man who later died stayed behind to try to mop the cleaning solution, and at least 10 people checked themselves into the hospital after the episode. Police and fire are conducting an investigation into the incident.
200,000 people missed their flights on the last 2 days. CNN says Lufthansa going on strike forced the German airline to cancel 1,500 flights. CNN reported the airline stated a normal flight schedule will resume Saturday, but there may be some delays in cancellations. Lufthansa also says it will begin talks with striking unions like the Independent Flight Attendants Organization.
And according to CNN, for the first time in 200 years of history, all Marines now have the right to bear umbrellas. Prior to the recent updates in uniform regulation, women in the Marines were allowed to use umbrellas, but not male Marines. The umbrella is not only the the only uniform change. The Marines will also let women to wear silver-studded earrings. Now, coming up later, hopes linger around the WSU basketball team. Did Coach Kyle Smith live up to the hype in the first game of the season against Seattle U?
And will the weather in Berkeley help or hurt the air raid offense? That and more coming up when Murrow News 8 returns.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
WSU basketball won 85-54 last night in Pullman. Gunnar Peterson reports on the spectacle of the match itself and what may be contributing to the first victory of the team.
New players, new leadership, and some shiny new hardwoods to flare their athletic prowess. WSU basketball saw what might just be the start of a major resurgence for the program. Taking on Seattle University last night, the Cougs charged with players new and old to bring home the victory for the first game of the season.
Geez, our guys just played really well. They were on the scout and just did a great job and pretty much wire to wire, and feel great about that. And they've been working hard and totally surprised me.
Early 2019 saw some major changes in WSU basketball with the exit of the previous head coach Ernie Kent, along with some experienced players. But these Cougs on the court are definitely showing some motivation and tenacity under the new leadership.
Under Coach Smith, such a great coach. We love playing for him, and it's a coach we want to play hard for every night.
A new court, a new coach, and new players. But what was really new about tonight's WSU basketball game was just the level of participation from WSU students and just how electric the crowd really was.
I was actually talking to one of the security guards, and he said that it was one of the best home openers he's seen in a while, which is really great. And what I've noticed just from the regular season last year, even in Pac-12 play, the attendance was kind of low, so it was really nice to see students and alumni and all kinds of fans come out and support the Cougs. May these new developments fuel the Cougars to the success the program needs, or is the attendance and student participation have more to do with it than previously thought? With these howling fans and swift swishes in Beasley Coliseum, I'm Gunnar Peterson with Murrow News 8.
The WSU football team is taking on the California Golden Bears at California. Yolanda Lee is at the weather wall. Yolanda, what can you tell us about the weather for the game?
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, another WSU football game is coming, and in Berkeley we can see around 65 degrees at kickoff time. It stays sunny with clear skies, which is good, and there is a light 8 miles per hour windy, which is pretty normal, and it won't really affect the game. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Yolanda. According to WSU Athletics, WSU soccer enters the final week of play with a chance at national seed in the NCAA tournament. This final match of the regular season will be at the University of Washington. WSU soccer head coach Todd Schulenberg talked about the team's next opponent.
Apple Cup, rival, whatever you want to call it, for the Cougs, we treat it just like a business. It's just another game, and we want to continue to increase our resume, continue to stay healthy, continue to score goals, and put ourselves in an even better position for what's to come after the Apple Cup.
The Cougs have a 15-match unbeaten streak against the Huskies. Going over to WSU volleyball, they will go up against the Oregon Ducks at Eugene this Sunday. WSU is coming off a 3-1 win over Oregon State. WSU volleyball head coach Jen Greeny talked about the upcoming opponent and recent changes they have made.
Oregon especially switched to the 6-2, put Veronica Stone on the right side. She's been, probably more effective in getting a ton of balls that way. I think that will be a really tough matchup for us.
The last time WSU played against Oregon, the Cougs won 3-1. According to ESPN, Kawhi Leonard has expressed support for his coach, Doc Rivers, after the NBA fined the Clippers organization $50,000 for comments made by Coach Rivers. After Leonard sat out first of a back-to-back game for the Clippers, the NBA fined the team for comments that were inconsistent with Leonard's health. Before the game, Rivers said that Leonard feels great and there's no reason to be concerned. ESPN said that NBA said that team's decision to sit Leonard for management of injury was consistent with league rules. Leonard has not played in a back-to-back game since 2016-2017 season with the San Antonio Spurs. The Seattle Sounders are set to host Toronto FC on Sunday for the 2019 MLS Cup. According to MLS Soccer, the home team has won 6 of 8 MLS Cup games since 2011. And the Sounders have won 11 straight home games. And the game is set to start at noon on Sunday. Now let's throw it over to Yolanda at the weather wall. Yolanda, what's the local forecast look like?
Thanks, Kevin. First, an update. Thanks, Kevin. First, an update on the air issue on the polluted air. According to the National Weather Service, air stagnation at Weathery remains its effect until noon PST Tuesday, and the poor air quality may cause issues for people with respiratory problems. Due to the limited movement, the pollution has the potential to increase to the dangerous levels. Please be aware that. Back to Pullman's today and tomorrow's weathers. Today the high was 55 and the low is going to be 36. Average is about 46. Move on to the tomorrow's weather. Tomorrow we have a high of 49 and a low of 40. The sunrise will be at 6:42 a.m. and of sunset at 4:21 p.m. We can notice that it's getting darker early, then we're getting closer to the winter. So be sure to watch the sky. Moreover, to the Washington State map, as you can see in the state map, we have very similar cloudy weather across the state. Over the west side of Washington, a little bit warmer than the east of Washington. So here in Seattle and Olympia, both have a high of 59 degrees, and over the east side, pretty much similar weather and pretty cloudy. Move to the 5-day forecast. Next 5 days weather, pretty much similar. All is cloudy weathers, and you can expect Tuesday and Wednesday both cloudy and with a high 54 on Wednesday and Tuesday 49 a high. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Yolanda. Well, Starbucks cups have been controversial in the past, but find out the perk they can give you now. You might consider it pretty fly.
Find out more coming up next on Murrow News 8.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Your Starbucks cup can now get you on your flight sooner. Como News reports that from today until Sunday, Alaska Airlines is partnering with Starbucks and offering early boarding to guests carrying Starbucks holiday cups. Como also reports that on select flights across the West Coast, guests will receive complimentary reusable Starbucks holiday cups and $5 Starbucks gift cards when they board the plane.
McDonald's is celebrating their Happy Meal's 14th birthday today. According to CNN, about 1 in 4 orders at McDonald's contains a Happy Meal. CNN also says the fast food chain is celebrating by bringing back some of the restaurant's most popular toys, including Beanie Babies, Patty the Platypus, and the surprise Happy Meals will be sold in 90 countries until Sunday, November 11th.
Well, we'll see you after the break.
Lot using your imagination.
I mean, I don't like to brag, but wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards?
But with STEM, the sky's the limit.
Shaboom!
Use STEM to envision.
Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Invent.
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Thanks for your patience.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
Well, thank you for watching tonight. Be sure to watch our live newscasts at nwpb.org/mn8 and on Cable 8 at 7 and 10.
Don't forget, you can also follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night.